Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
This girl was born with 9 tails. Her pack branded her a curse. Proof, they said, that she was the child of the strongest alpha from a rival pack. When she was just 2, they killed her mother. Then they chopped off her tails, believing they had destroyed the curse. But she survived. Her grandmother secretly took her in and raised her in silence, never revealing that she was the bastard daughter of the most powerful alpha alive. Maybe because the girl had no powers, no claws, no shift, nothing but an ordinary fragile body. While other children sprouted fangs and tore through training dummies, she could barely heal a scratch. She thought she was weak until she turned 6. Cancer had been eating away at her grandmother, and on her deathbed, too weak to speak, the old woman left behind an envelope, one that held the darkest secrets of Talia's existence. But just as Talia reached for it, the doctor who had been eavesdropping snatched it from her hand.
Give that to me, you filth!
The doctor reported everything to Alpha Edward. He branded her a threat and took her in as a slave. Before her wolf could ever ripen, he crushed it, then handed the envelope to his daughter and said,
If you wish to become Luna, never let this slave outshine you.
10 years have passed. Every day she found a new way to torture me, denying me entry to the manor, leaving me only the filth of toilets to scrub. And today, with the Alpha coming to court her at the Harvest Moon Festival, she decided to descend into the staff quarters, not for courtesy, but to remind me I would never be free of her chains. Marcy was the princess of the Red Moon Pack, the perfect daughter, Luna in training, and of course, she hated me, and never missed an opportunity to show it. I didn't know why she always singled me out, probably the same reason as everyone else. She knew I wasn't a real wolf. It's lovely to see you, Miss Marcy, I lied, praying she would leave. To what do we owe the pleasure of having you visit us here? She grimaced. Marcy knew I was forcing myself to be polite to her. I have come to bear warning to all you Omegas for the upcoming full moon gatherings, she said. Everything must be perfect, and all of you must be presentable. All unmated Omegas must present themselves well. The Alpha of the Dark Howlers Pack is visiting, solely to find his Luna. Now, of course, that's all just tradition. Everyone knows he's coming for me. She hissed at me. Wolfless freak, don't you dare go near Alpha Damon. She forbade me from dressing up, from showing myself in front of him. I was only allowed at the Harvest Moon Festival if I wasn't in heat, so Damon wouldn't catch my scent, and even then, only to help the other Omegas organize it. Then she yanked me by the hand and dragged me into her walk-in closet. Designer gowns hung in perfect rows, all waiting for Alpha Damon's visit. I thought of the white dress I'd stitched for myself, but she sneered and shoved a faded 10-year-old rag from her dresser into my arms, something that would make sure no one's eyes ever lingered on me. This one, she screamed. It's perfect for you. Well, it would, of course, look better on me, even if it's a little short, but for your little legs, it's perfect. She then plucked a dress from one of the racks. It was the same dress Marcy wore on her 16th birthday. And I won't lie, back then I dreamed of wearing it. The silk was rich, soft, the kind of fabric that would glide against the skin and make anyone feel beautiful. For a moment, I almost believed it could look good on me, but then I caught my reflection and wondered, would a dress like this ever suit someone short and wolfless like me? Compared to the other women in the pack, I was short. Like short. The average she-wolf was around 5'9", some taller and some shorter by only a margin of a couple of inches. I was 5 feet 5 inches tall, almost half a foot shorter than all the women. And since all the men were taller than the women, they all easily towered over me. Just another reason they all saw me as an outcast. She ordered me to stay in my place, never cross a line, make myself invisible. And again she warned, if I was in heat, I was to vanish from the Harvest Moon Festival altogether. Yet I couldn't help but wonder, what made her so afraid of Alpha Damon catching my scent? It wasn't like he would ever choose me. I mean, not everyone can be as lucky as me, you know. Promised to the most powerful, most handsome, sexiest alpha in the country? I mean, it's like a fairy tale. Once our two houses are united, we'll be unstoppable, and my father will be so pleased. The perfect union, Damon and I. I was bred for this, you know? I could only fear what would happen if Damon chose Marcy. Alpha Damon was the leader of the Dark Howlers, the fiercest pack in the realm, the most powerful alpha in all of North America. Women threw themselves at his feet. Rulers trembled in his presence. With a single glance, he could seduce a she-wolf, or tear out a man's throat just as easily. Damon was untouchable. He scorned love, rejected every political match. Not one of the countless brides presented to him had won his favor. None were worthy of being his Luna, the proud she-wolf to rule at his side. To him, love was nothing but a distraction, an attempt to tame the untamable. And Damon would never be tamed. Would she succeed where so many others had failed? Or would her cruelty only sharpen once she became Luna to such a powerful alpha? I ran back to the kitchen, heart pounding, moving as fast as my legs would carry me. I rushed through my cleaning duties, scrubbing and sweeping with trembling hands, before hurrying straight back to the servants' quarters. I went back to the dorm, clinging to a single thought: the Harvest Moon Festival. If I was lucky, maybe someone would choose me. Maybe this was my only escape. Sleep came quickly. I dreamed I was fertile, walking in the woods with my mate, his lips on mine, his arms pulling me close. He saved me from this pack house, and in that dream I had shifted. Finally, a true werewolf. During the Harvest Moon Festival, I squealed. Everyone will smell it on me. Everyone will feel my aching want. Ugh. When a werewolf is in heat, they produce a one-of-a-kind, unmistakable scent, impossible to hide and impossible to ignore. Nothing is more embarrassing than to be in heat without a mate, everyone knows, especially alphas. And the worst part? I am the only wolf in my entire pack who can't shift. And that means no one wants me for their mate, and who could blame them? Who would want to bond themselves with a weakling for eternity? I woke and doused myself in perfume, cursing the timing of coming into heat. Desperate, I rushed to the only confidant I had here, Olivia, an Omega like me. Omegas were the weaklings of the pack, responsible for tending to the needs and cares of the rest. And in the Red Moon pack, basically slaves. Olivia was an Omega, like me, but that was the similarity we shared. The others liked her. She could shift, and perhaps most importantly, Olivia had a mate. She turned to me with her wide, kind eyes and asked me flat out, "Are you in heat?" "Yeah, I hate it. My skin is on fire and I feel feral," I replied, annoyed. She warned me not to tell a soul I was in heat. I could lose my only chance to escape if Marcy found out. Just take Wolfsbane and douse yourself in perfume. No one will get close enough to notice. She was right. After all, the pack hated me. The entire pack mocked me for being unable to shift, and sometimes would question if I even was a werewolf, or if I even belonged to the pack. Other than Olivia, I had no one. And pretty soon, I wouldn't have her either. Olivia had found her mate, and very soon they would be leaving to live together. They would start their happily ever after. You have to be careful with that stuff, Talia. Too much Wolfsbane is toxic, Oliva warned. I know. Just a little in my tea, that's all, I assured her. And don't forget, alphas can still smell heat even with Wolfsbane, she continued. Don't worry, Olivia. No alpha will even look at me. I laughed. I am the broken wolf, remember? So what? He could still be your mate, she argued. I don't think so, I replied. And I think he would still reject me, even if he were my mate. Werewolves mated for life. It was an unbreakable bond between a couple, and the Harvest Moon Festival was the biggest night of the year for wolves to find their potential mates. A night to celebrate their unions. You know he wouldn't be able to. His body would still crave you, Olivia explained. No wolf would crave me, I told her firmly. No man in this pack will take me as a mate. My statement made Olivia go quiet. I watched the clock tick by, the dreaded gathering still 12 hours away. My heart raced with one thought. Would any wolf ever choose me as a mate, or would I go unloved for the rest of my life? To calm myself, I went for my morning run, earlier than usual. I preferred to run in the woods, to race among the trees, the dark canopy of leaves above me, and the musty smell of the earth beneath my feet. The smells of the forest intoxicated me. It was then and only then that I felt as though I were truly a wolf. Perhaps that was why something always seemed to be waiting for me there, just beyond my senses. I was running at nearly top speed when something made me stop. Something different. Not just a smell, but a scent. A powerful scent. Something stirred. Something primal. Something I couldn't resist. All the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, every nerve alive, as though my body couldn't decide. Was I facing a predator to fear or a mate to surrender to? What is that scent? I thought, trembling. My mind went hazy and my body limp as the scent of chocolate, coffee, cinnamon, and the forest after the rain attacked my senses. overwhelming me, bewitching me to no end. I wanted it to kill me. I wanted to die inside it. It was calling to me, a pull I couldn't fight. Suddenly, I felt myself being watched. I felt myself hunted. I felt eyes devouring me from every direction, and even though I knew I needed to run, I didn't. I just stood in the forest center as though I was inviting it forward. As though I wished it would take me. Why? Why did I want it to come for me? Why was I closing my eyes? Why did I breathe in deeper? I started to shake. Whatever or whoever it was, I knew I could not stick around to find out, but I couldn't let it go. I couldn't move. I wanted it, even if just for a moment more. I wanted it to find me. I wanted it to destroy me, again and again and again. Then, with the snapping of a twig, my eyes snapped open. My legs became mine again, and I ran. I ran as fast as my feet would take me. With each step, I felt it gaining, pulling, clawing at me to stop, as though I could smell it a step behind me, as though I could feel its breath on the back of my neck. Finally, I reached the forest edge and emerged at the clearing, gasping for air. What in the world was that? I exclaimed the instant I entered the pack house. It was the very moment Alpha Damon stepped onto the Red Moon pack grounds with his mated betas.
Caden and Maya. Something felt off. His wolf stirred uneasily beneath the surface. Damon didn't need confirmation. He already knew. No one in the Red Moon pack could be trusted. They all sat down in the dining hall, its gaudy opulence a reflection of Red Moon's inflated ego. Marcy arrived fashionably late, every detail of her appearance sharpened like a blade. Shimmering blonde hair, a sculpted figure. She was the type of girl who got what she wanted. Her friend Nora wasn't as restrained. She eyed Damon with hunger, her gaze sliding over him like a caress. She didn't care that Marcy was supposed to win the Alpha's hand. Nora wanted to taste for herself. Marcy's mother, Luna Layla, noticed the heat in Nora's stare and the flicker of fury in her daughter's eyes. "Marcy," Layla said too sweetly, "why don't you show Alpha Damon to his room so you two can talk?" While the Red Moon pack celebrated Damon's arrival, elsewhere in the kitchens, Talia worked until the sweat stung her eyes. All she could dream of was the scraps she might scavenge when the feast was over. The other Omegas had different plans for her. Anna, their cruel ringleader, stepped into Talia's path, towering over her. "Listen up, slave." The other Omegas giggled behind her like hyenas. Anna's lips twisted into a cruel smirk. "You're going to deliver towels to Alpha Damon's room." Talia froze. "Right now? But what if he's inside?" Anna raised her hand ready to strike. "Are you questioning me?" Talia flinched, her heart pounding. Without her wolf, she was defenseless against the bullies. Without another word, she took the towels and hurried off, every step dragging her closer to the Alpha's quarters and whatever fate awaited her behind that door. When Talia entered the room, she froze. Damon was in his room, but he wasn't alone. There was Marcy, on her knees, between Damon's legs. Marcy whipped around, her eyes blazing with fury as they locked onto Talia's. The insolence. A jolt of fear shot up Talia's spine. Retribution would be certain. Damon's eyes snapped to Talia. "Stop," he barked. But Talia was gone, bolting from the room, too terrified to look back. What Talia didn't know, what she couldn't have known, is that in that moment, Damon's world had shifted. Her scent. It hit his veins like a spark of kindling, igniting something primal within him. Could it be? His inner wolf howled the truth within him again and again. She, a lowly Omega, a serving girl without a friend, was his fated mate. Ignoring the mocking laughter of Anna and the others, Talia ran until she reached the attic, shoving the cabinet against the door before collapsing in the corner, struggling to quiet her frantic breathing. "Is this it? Is this the day I die?" Back in Damon's room, Marcy landed clumsily on her backside as Damon shoved her away, his expression thunderous and unreadable. "Who was that girl?" he demanded, hastily buttoning his pants. Marcy knew exactly who she was. Talia, that wolfless bitch. How dare she step into an Alpha's chambers uninvited? And worse, if word got out that Marcy had been pleasuring Damon before he'd even proposed, she'd be humiliated. A laughingstock. Her reputation would be in shreds. Marcy's jaw clenched with fury. She should have done more than just beat the girl this morning. But Damon didn't notice Marcy's simmering rage. He was too distracted, his mind replaying the moment when she walked in. How that intoxicating scent, freesia and citrus, had struck him. How his wolf had howled, wild and urgent. All he could think about was pulling her into his arms. Mate. His wolf howled in confirmation. He had never expected to hear that word, never wanted to, and yet, the moment Talia entered the room, something inside him had shifted, changed. His wolf growled inside him. Find her. Damon clenched his jaw. Find her, he ordered. Now. Marcy hesitated. She was confused. Why would an alpha give a shit about a slave? Damon's alpha energy radiated off of her, making her lower her head. Yes, Alpha Damon. But Marcy already knew. She'd be doing much more than just finding her. Meanwhile, Damon paced, running his tongue over his teeth, irritated beyond reason, the girl with the smart doe eyes and copper-colored hair. Damon prowled through the pack house, inhaling deeply. Nothing. No trace of her scent. His wolf snarled. Find her. If she was really my mate, why did she run? Why didn't she feel it too? You had another woman on her knees in front of you, his wolf sneered. What did you expect? That she'd throw herself into your arms? Damon scowled. His instincts screamed at him to chase, but logic held him back. He needed to stay in control. If he lost control and Marcy found out the truth, there was no telling what they would do to her. For now, he would wait. Later that night, Marcy returned to Damon's chambers. She couldn't wait to tell him how she put the girl in her place, that wretched, wolfless slave. But when she saw Damon standing there, Marcy forgot all about the girl, and she would make him forget all about her too. But Damon barely acknowledged her, his mind consumed by the memory of that freesia scent. Marcy advanced. Hello, Damon. Damon swiftly turned toward the door to see Marcy peeking in. He wondered if she even knocked, but even if she did, he probably wouldn't have noticed. He never felt this distracted. What if that was an enemy? That copper-haired girl already caused him to be weak, and he didn't even acknowledge their mate bond. Why are you here? Damon asked. You look tense, Marcy said while reluctantly putting her palms on Damon's firm chest. I know that nothing is confirmed, but technically we are engaged. Damon observed her fingers as they moved slightly. She felt him out over the thin fabric of his shirt. He noticed a big ring on her right middle finger, an oval-shaped ruby with small diamonds surrounding it. Damon looked at her almond-shaped blue eyes, straight nose, and full lips, and he confirmed that she objectively appeared attractive. Damon felt his wolf's anger and dejection, but he decided to ignore it. Unaware of the conversation Damon had with his wolf, Marcy inched closer to Damon and she smiled seductively. I can. Before Marcy could finish her sentence, Damon's hand landed at the back of her head, and he pulled her closer for a kiss, pulling her toward the bed. Wait, Marcy breathed. Wait. Damon replied, what happened if we were technically engaged? Get out. Marcy didn't understand. What? I said. Get out. The clock struck 2. Damon lay restless, tension coiled in his muscles, his thoughts tangled in a torment he refused to name. The oppressive stillness of the Red Moon pack house suffocated him. He needed air, control, escape. He moved silently, intent on a midnight run, until it hit him. Freesia, that intoxicating scent, sweet citrus and wild temptation. His pulse pounded, his body moving before his mind caught up, drawn to the scent like a predator to prey. His hunt led him to the kitchen, shadow pooling in the corner, the hum of the refrigerator filling the quiet. And there she was, a small figure bathed in the cold glow of the open fridge, unaware of the danger lurking just behind her. Damon closed the distance, too close, close enough that his heat ghosted over her nape, close enough that he could imagine how she'd feel beneath him, soft. His voice came unbidden, dark, possessive. Talia gasped, jerking back, right into him. She spun, eyes wide, body trembling. Fear, a scent he despised on her. Oh, she whimpered, rubbing the back of her head, shrinking under his gaze. Wrong move, little one. You're not leaving. She scurried sideways, but Damon was faster, his arm blocking her escape. What are you sorry for? He murmured, his voice low, dangerous. She stammered, refusing to meet his eye, her lip caught between her teeth. A sight that shouldn't send heat curling in his gut, but damn it, it did. He cupped her chin, tilting her face toward the light. Sparks. A wildfire licked up his arm, searing through his vein. His wolf howled, triumphant. Mate. But that momentary euphoria crashed when he saw her bruise. His grip tightened. Rage. What happened? His voice was no longer smooth. It was a blade, sharp with violence. She flinched. I fell. Lies. His thumb ghosted over the mark on her cheek. It was shaped like a ring. Marcy. His wolf roared inside him, demanding blood, demanding vengeance. Who did this? He growled. Talia shuddered. No one. A lie, a plea, a desperate attempt to protect the monster who hurt her. Damon inhaled deeply, trying to rein in the storm inside him, but her scent, the sweetness, the fragility, it wrecked him. "I will not hurt you," he swore. His tone softer now, but she didn't believe him. He could see it in the way her body coiled, ready to run. Then she did. Gone. Vanished. She had run from him again. Damon couldn't believe it. Damon stood frozen for a second. Then, "Damn it," his wolf snarled. "Find her." Damon's body moved on instinct, chasing the fading scent of freesia into the night. Damon halted in the middle of the garden, nostrils flaring as he inhaled deeply, searching for her scent. The freesia and citrus still lingered in the air, but it was interwoven with the overpowering fragrance of hydrangeas and roses, scattered wildly by the wind. "Shit," he cursed, his fists clenching. "I lost her." "Why did she run?" "Maybe because you scared the soul out of her." His wolf growled. Damon frowned. "I scared her? You grabbed her, cornered her, demanded answers? You think she's not used to being mistreated? And let's not forget, the first time she saw you, another she-wolf was on her knees for you, and you barked at her to stop. Hardly a warm introduction, if I may say." Damon cursed under his breath. He hadn't considered it from that angle. The girl haunted him. Her wide, fearful eyes, the bruises marring her delicate face, the way she shrank when he spoke. It made something primal inside him snap. If she's my mate, why didn't she feel it? She should have wanted to be near me, not running for her life. Maybe she doesn't know you're her mate. Is she too young? No, she's small and malnourished, but she's definitely over 18. His wolf hesitated. The problem is, I can't sense her wolf. Damon's body stiffened. She's a human? That thought made him recoil. A human? The moon goddess paired a fragile human with an alpha like him? That was insanity. No, his wolf corrected. She's a she-wolf, but for some reason, her inner wolf hasn't awakened. It could be abuse, starvation, or something darker. Maybe her wolf has been silenced. Silenced? Who would do such a thing? What reason could they possibly have to justify such cruelty? Ripping a wolf from her other half, severing the sacred bond between soul and beast. Damon couldn't imagine a fate more brutal, more inhumane. Damon raked a hand through his hair, his frustration mounting. He'd frightened her. He let her leave without food, and now she was out there, alone, vulnerable. How do I fix this? His wolf growled. Fix what? You came here to seduce Marcy, ruin Alpha Edward's plans, and leave. What changed? You want to apologize for being an ass and take her out for dinner? Damon scowled, staring at the darkened tree line in the distance. He wasn't the kind of man to coddle or chase after anyone. He told himself to forget her, to move on. But the truth was, he wasn't sure if he could. Damon stormed up the stairs, each step heavier than the last. His blood ran hot, his chest tight with frustration he couldn't shake. She ran from him, the copper-haired girl with those wide, frightened eyes and the scent that still clung to his skin. Like she wanted nothing to do with him. Fine, let her go. He threw the bedroom door open without thinking and froze. Nora was already there, draped across his bed like she belonged, wearing nothing but a wicked smirk. I figured you'd need company, she purred, stretching, letting her fingers trail across his pillow, marking her territory. Rough night? Damon exhaled hard, his fists clenching at his sides. The girl's scent was still in his head, citrus and freesia, clinging like a curse, but Nora smelled of want, willing, available, a distraction. That's all he needed. That's all this was. He closed the door with a snap and stepped toward the bed, gaze dark and unreadable. Shut up, he growled. Then he grabbed her. Damon sat on the edge of the bed later, running a hand through his damp hair. The shower hadn't washed away the frustration, nor the bitter aftertaste of what just happened. Nora was already gone. He glanced down and saw a pair of torn panties near the foot of the bed. Not Marcy's, Nora's. His lip curled. Perfect. Just another mess to clean up. You're a damn fool. His wolf's voice slithered into his mind, thick with disgust. Did that make you forget her? Did she feel like our mate? Damon clenched his jaw. No, Nora had been warm, willing, everything he should have wanted. But it had been empty, pointless. The moment his release faded, the hunger in his chest only grew sharper. His wolf sneered. I warned you. She's the only one who can satisfy us. Damon growled under his breath. He didn't want this to be true. He didn't want to need the girl with the copper-colored hair. And yet, he did. If he was ever going to find peace again, he needed to find her, his frail, elusive mate, the Omega who kept slipping through his fingers. The next morning, Damon contacted Caden and Maya through their mind link. "Are you guys up?" "We are now," Caden grumbled. They had an agreement. Nights were private between him and Maya, and Damon only disturbed them if something urgent came up. Maya's voice grew alert. "Did something happen?" "Caden, come to my room." There was a pause before Caden responded. "On my way." When Caden arrived, he gave the room a once-over before raising a brow at Damon. "You look like shit. Were you attacked?" His gaze fell on the shredded panties discarded on the floor. "Oh, never mind. Guess you had a long night." Damon wasn't in the mood for jokes. He tossed and turned the entire night, plagued by nightmares. He saw the copper-haired girl trapped in darkness, shadowy hands choking her, bruising her skin. He clawed at an invisible barrier, screaming her name. Except he didn't even know her name. "How did you feel when you met Maya?" Damon asked abruptly. Caden's grin faded. "Why? Is Marcy your mate?" Damon rolled his eyes. "Just answer the damn question. Attraction, sparks, happiness. I needed Maya to be happy, so I could be happy. I thought I knew what happiness was before, but after meeting her, I realized I'd been clueless." Damon clenched his jaw. That wasn't what he felt. He felt restless, furious, out of control. "Did you ever think about resisting it?" Caden looked appalled. "Why the hell would I? She's the best thing that ever happened to me. I waited my whole life for her. Why would I reject her?" Damon's stomach twisted. "What if Maya was in danger because of you? Would you pick her safety over your happiness? What if the only way to protect her was to reject her?" Caden frowned. "What kind of twisted scenario is that? I wouldn't be happy if she suffered. Rejection would break us both, so I'd rather face danger together." He eyed Damon sharply. "What's going on? Did last night fry your brain?" Damon exhaled harshly. "I don't know what's going on." Caden shrugged. "All right, we're still leaving after breakfast, right?" Damon hesitated. Could he really leave without seeing her again? Just one more time to make sure she was okay? To confirm that the sparks weren't in his head? "Let me think about it." Caden studied his alpha, his oldest friend. There was something Damon wasn't saying. He could feel it, but he didn't press. Damon would talk when he was ready, and when he did, Caden would be there. He always was. He couldn't have known Damon's mind was consumed by the copper-haired girl, his true, fated mate. Or that beneath his calm exterior, he was seething over the bruise Marcy had left on her skin. That cruel woman, his so-called betrothed, he could tear her apart if it wouldn't start a damn war, though maybe there were other ways to destroy her. Caden turned toward the door when Damon's voice stopped him. "Could you look into Marcy for me? Anything we can use to discredit her, past scandals, secrets, whatever you can find." Caden nodded without hesitation. "Anything, Damon." He slipped out, closing the door softly behind him. "Are you thinking about rejecting her?" his wolf asked. Damon sighed. "I need to protect her. Then keep her close. Don't reject her." His wolf had explained that without her wolf, Talia didn't feel the bond. She wasn't drawn to him the way he was to her. To win her, he'd have to do it the human way. Court her, earn her trust. But without the bond, nothing guaranteed she would stay, and that terrified Damon the most. Damon didn't know the first thing about romance, but he knew one thing. No one could know she was his mate. If Alpha Edward learned, he'd use her against him. She'd become leverage, a hostage. Damon couldn't allow that. After breakfast, Damon met with Alpha Edward in his office. "I wonder if you're aware of how your Omegas are treated," Damon said. Alpha Edward frowned. "Elaborate. Do they get paid? Fed? Protected?" Edward bristled. "We provide accommodations 3 meals a day. They have access to the kitchen. We train them, discipline them if necessary, but no one is mistreated." Damon leaned forward. "Then why did I see one yesterday, perfectly fine, and hours later covered in bruises?" Alpha Edward's jaw tightened. "Disputes happen." Damon smirked. "Then maybe you should have a chat with your daughter." Edward's eyes sharpened. "Marcy? Aluna should protect her people, not beat them to a pulp. If my mate was ever treated like that..." Damon cut himself off, clenching his fists. Edward narrowed his eyes. "I'll speak with her." Damon smirked. "I'm counting on it." Later, when Marcy entered Edward's study, he cut straight to the point. "How is your relationship with Damon?" Marcy smiled. "We're getting along well. I think he plans on making me his Luna." Edward's voice darkened. Then explain why he thinks you beat Omegas half to death. Marcy paled. What were you thinking? He roared. You don't beat an Omega when an Alpha you're trying to impress is watching. Marcy swallowed hard. She had just made a very dangerous mistake. Do whatever it takes. Do you understand me? Alpha Edward's voice was razor sharp, slicing through the thick air between them. His hand slammed against the desk, the loud crack making Marcy jump. Marcy swallowed hard, nodding fervently. Yes, Father. Don't just yes. Father me, he snapped, eyes gleaming with fury. I gave you everything. Position, power, the opportunity to become Luna of the strongest pack, and you're ruining it because of your carelessness. Do you know what happens if you fail me? If you mess this up? Marcy's breath hitched. I can fix it, I promise. Edward's jaw clenched. You'd better. Find Damon. Make him yours, by any means necessary. Marcy rushed to her room, slamming the door shut behind her. Her hands trembled as she braced herself against the vanity. That was close. And it was all her fault. That lowly mutt, Talia, a constant thorn in Marcy's side. Why would Alpha Damon of all people care so much about such a useless little Omega? It made no sense. After a deep breath, Marcy steeled herself. She wouldn't fail. She stripped off her dress, selected something more daring, plunging neckline, fabric that clung in all the right places, and touched up her makeup before making her way to find Damon. She found him outside his room, speaking with his mated betas Caden and Maya. Are you guys going out? She asked, feigning casual interest. Caden nodded. James offered to show us around the warrior training grounds. Marcy barely suppressed her grimace. The training grounds reeked of sweat and desperation, two things she had no interest in. Damon's eyes were cold as they landed on her. Can I help you, Marcy? She nearly flinched. His tone was ice. It was worse than anger. He was indifferent. He found out. The bruised little rat had reached his ears. Her father had been right. She needed to fix this, fast. She smiled sweetly. I was hoping we could talk. Just the two of us. Damon glanced at Caden, who gave him a knowing nod before leading an eye-rolling Maya away. Once they were alone, Marcy stepped forward and, without hesitation, wrapped her arms around Damon's waist. He didn't return the embrace. Instead, his hands gripped her wrists and peeled her off him, as if she were something repugnant. What are you doing? I'm sorry, Marcy said quickly. Damon arched a brow. For what? She hesitated. Did she mean last night? Or the Omega? Or both? My behavior yesterday was unacceptable. Damon leaned back against the chair, his arms folding over his chest. You came here to apologize. Do it without touching me. Marcy took a breath. I also want to fix things. His brow lifted. Fix what, exactly? She clenched her hands at her sides. Just do it. Give him what he wants. You can control him once you're Luna. I wasn't thinking straight last night, she admitted. I said things I didn't mean. Damon smirked. You didn't mean what you said? About your limits? What you do? Marcy's cheeks burned. I said we needed to know we were heading toward marriage first. And we are. So, I'm fine with whatever you want to do. Damon leaned forward, his smirk darkening. Whatever I want. Marcy swallowed. Yes, undress. She blinked. He's serious. With slightly trembling fingers, she unbuttoned the front of her dress, letting the fabric pool around her ankles. She stood before him in lace lingerie, heart hammering. Damon's gaze swept over her body, unreadable, all of it. But Damon stepped away. She turned, confused, just in time to see him buttoning his cuffs. What? She gasped. What are you doing? Damon smirked, voice dripping amusement. Parting is such sweet sorrow. And with that, he walked to the bathroom, washed his hands as if cleansing himself of her, and left without looking back. Marcy stood there naked, humiliated. He just left. Damon used his mind link to check on Caden and Maya. That was fast, Caden teased as Damon joined them. Shut up, Damon replied. Maya crossed her arms. Did you get anything we can use against Marcy? Damon exhaled. No. Caden and Maya exchanged a look. She's been careful, Caden admitted. No photos, no proof of her messing around. Just whispers. Damon's jaw tightened. Keep digging. Someone has something. We did find something else, Maya said, holding up a sealed envelope. Damon's eyes narrowed. About Marcy? No, Caden shook his head. Another girl from the Red Moon Pack. A servant girl with copper hair. Damon's eyes widened, his entire body stilled. He snatched the envelope from Maya's hand and tore it open. He couldn't believe his eyes. His grip tightened, voice low and urgent. "We need to find her. The copper-haired girl. Now." "You don't even know her name," Maya pointed out. Damon clenched his fists. "But I know her scent." He turned abruptly. "I'll be back in 10 minutes. Maya and Caden exchanged another look as he strode off. "What's gotten into him?" Maya asked. Caden sighed. "Hell if I know. But I think we just found his weakness." "You smell like trouble, Alpha Damon. The kind I wouldn't mind getting tangled with," Nora purred, stepping too close. Damon's gaze snapped to hers, ice cold. "Back off, Miss Nora, unless you want rumors spreading about how you sabotaged Marcy's Luna prospects to warm my bed. I doubt Alpha Edward would appreciate that." Nora's smile faltered, but she quickly masked it with a forced chuckle. She took a deliberate step back. Damon barely noticed. His mind churned, trying to piece together the mystery of the copper-haired girl who had wrecked his sanity with a single glance. If she was an Omega, she should have been in the community housing, but her scent was nowhere. If she was a prisoner, she wouldn't have had the freedom to sneak into the kitchen. Yet she was thin, too thin, and hungry, her body bruised and neglected. Why? He had searched every building, every hallway, yet she was gone. His frustration gnawed at him. Logic dictated that he should leave, forget her, erase the phantom scent of Frisia from his mind. But every time he tried, something primal inside him refused. Just once. One more time. He needed to see her, feel the electricity between them. Then, maybe he could let her go. Maybe. "There's a girl in the attic," a maid Omega had whispered. Damon moved before she finished her sentence, his heart pounding like war drums in his chest. And there it was, the scent of Frisia, faint but undeniable. His wolf howled in triumph. She was here. Silence. Still nothing. His patience snapped. Damon turned the handle, stepping inside. The attic was dark, the only light filtering through a small window, illuminating a frail figure curled in the corner. Copper-colored hair spilled over her face, but he could see her wide, honey-brown eyes locked on him. His breath hitched. He had found her. "Hi." His voice came out rough. "Get it together. You're probably wondering why I'm here." She said nothing, shrinking further into herself, a reaction that sliced through him like a blade. "I won't hurt you," he promised. "Not like them, never like them." Still, she flinched when he stepped closer. Then he saw it, the bruises, fresh ones layered over the old, and when she shifted, her sleeve hitched, revealing a swollen wrist. "Marcy." A savage growl rumbled deep in his chest. "She hit you again, didn't she?" Panic flickered across her face. "Please don't say anything." "If you do, she'll hurt me more." His wolf roared in fury. "She fears more punishment because of me." Damon clenched his fists, barely restraining the need to storm out and rip Marcy apart, but the girl in front of him, his mate, was trembling. He forced his anger down. He did the only thing that made sense in that moment. He sat down beside her and wrapped her in his arms. She froze, then squirmed. "Shh," he murmured. "Just for a minute." A minute? A lifetime wouldn't be enough. Talia was rigid at first, but then she stilled. A reluctant surrender. Damon exhaled, his lips ghosting over the crown of her head. She smelled intoxicating, and he let himself indulge, fingers threading through her silky copper hair, reveling in the way the touch sent sparks cascading through him. His wolf whimpered in bliss. "Hey." Her voice was hesitant, barely above a whisper. "When are you going to let me go?" Damon smirked against her hair. "First of all, my name is Damon, not Hay. And second," his arms tightened around her, "I'm thinking about it." Damon couldn't ignore it any longer. The scent of dried blood mixed with Frisia, a contradiction that enraged him. He grasped her wrist, inspecting the cut. His wolf growled at the sight of her battered skin. Without thinking, he brought it to his lips and licked. Talia jerked, trying to yank her hand away. "What are you doing?" "Healing you," he murmured. "Our saliva has medicinal properties. You should be thanking me." She gaped at him. "It's bitter," he said, confused. Damon frowned. "Why?" "I made a herbal paste. To stop infection." Her voice was soft, just above a whisper. His gaze flickered to her again. "You made a remedy yourself?" She nodded. Something in his chest twisted. She was alone. No pack to care for her. No one to tend to her wounds. It was unacceptable. His grip tightened. "Come with me." She blinked. "What? To my pack? To the Dark Howlers?" Talia stiffened. "Why?" Damon inhaled sharply. He couldn't tell her the truth, not yet, that she was his mate, that he'd burned the world down before letting her go. Instead, he softened his voice. Because I'll give you what you deserve. A home, a room of your own, clothes that fit, food whenever you want, a doctor for every scratch. No one will ever lay a hand on you again, and if they do, I'll deal with them myself. His wolf let out a low, possessive growl. Talia stared at him as if he'd lost his mind. And maybe he had. "Why do you want to help me?" she whispered. Because you're mine, he thought. But instead, he pulled the envelope from his coat and tossed it onto the bed between them. "Because I know why your wolf won't awaken. I know what they did to you, and I know why they did it." Talia looked up from the envelope to Damon, her eyes wide with shock. The ground had just shifted beneath her, and he was the only one who knew why. What dark secrets lie buried inside the envelope? Why has Talia's wolf remained unawakened all these years? Has her wolf been silenced? Who would do such a thing? And who or what has gone to such lengths to keep the truth hidden? Could this be the key to finally awakening Talia's wolf? Or awakening something far more dangerous?
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.
Pocket FM. Download the app now. Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.